So when we look at the populous On and the book of Nahum and the land of Ammon, the land of the north, the hidden land, and this time of Tammuz, this month, this time of the summer, when we look at the scriptures and it says in Nahum, art thou better than Ammon, or the populace of Ammon, that was situated around the rivers, the Yaor, the channel, right, that had the waters round about, that encircled it. When you look at these areas here of the Bay Area and the Ilamo and Cali in California, and the protection that these coasts provided here, being the border of the rim of fire, this volcanic region, California, and its relationship with Kemet and the hidden sciences, we understand the great circle that exists between the great horizon line from the ring of fire to the coastline of California and to the coastline of the eastern, to the western border of the Pacific, where we find Cali. However, the Earth's chakra system and the Earth's chakras, when we look at the seven heads, the seven Negusas, the Naga serpent, the base chakra, where we find Mount Shasta here in California in the Bay Area, when we look at this populous Ammon and the Palestinian coast here of this base of Mount, from Mount Shasta all the way down into the Mexico, when we look at these regions and the two lands and this coast and its significance and its protection and its ramparts for this populace of what was known as the populace On. When we look at Amu people and the Asiatics and the crossings of the Asiatic, when we look at the sea, the Yami, and so when we look at Amun, the hidden land and the land of the north, and Thebes of the west, and the sacred cities, Sudupu in the eastern border, the region and the measure of the triangle of 120 degrees from the horizon line to these regions where we find the winter solstice, the southern crossing, which was significance with Sagittarius and the Capricorn. And for the month of Tammuz, when we look at the horizon line, the Dogon, and the Sirius star system, and the eastern border, and the mouth, and the end portion of the domain of Amun, the upper lands. And since the waters have encompassed the earth from the days of Peleg, from the Genesis, the 10th chapter, this is why Narmer's document, Narmer's palette, showing the standards of Amuru and the connections of Kepera, the coffin and the protection, the tent of darkness, and the measures that we see prevalent here in Mexico with the Ankh, the waters, the Mayim, the Mayim.
So when we look at the ancient Asiatics and
the Phoenicians and the Yami, the seafaring in the Hebrew refers to it as Yami. So when you look at the Yami, Tammuz, Tamit, Amit, the devourer, and the sea, Nahar, judges, and the tribes of Dan, the adder, the sea serpent,
Joel, the third chapter,
the dragons. When you look at the phoenix and the connections, when we look at the ashes and the rising from the ashes and the crossing from death into life from the coast of California over into Asia,
the measurers, the judges,
and the funerary processions.
We see the trade of trees, Palestine, California, Lebanon, and the coast here, California, the Amur people.
In this coast, you find some of the oldest trees here in this coastline of the redwoods, which connect with the Amu, the Red People, and the Yalamu, and the Cedars of Lebanon, the Palestine, all the way up from Washington. We're talking about, you got to include even the Alaska borderline coming all the way down into California, the Pacific Northwest, and the devourer, Amit. Amit, the devourer, to consume Akal, the consumption, and this coast and the use of fire have had its secrets and mystery. We're talking about hell and judgment, and this process of judgment, and the purification process, and purgatory, and can one pay for a lesser judgment in the afterlife? When we look at the four directions and the guidance that man used within the earth, all of these things were in the earth, were tools that were utilized for navigation and different things to be observed within the atmosphere of the earth, that were essential to these navigators to give. So when we see these things here on the wall, these things also show reference of the different times of the seasons
of the Hindu
connected.
goddess
When we
of
look at
destruction,
Kali,
right in front of its greeting entrance. It seems that there is a concentrated effort to affect and
we have to understand
manipulate
that
the Earth's
Kali also meaning
electromagnetic
black
field.
destruction.
Using these
Why some of these
technologies.
titles get applied
In a
to
JFK and
death,
Eisenhower
into
speech,
the wearing
they
of the
both warned
rituals
the
of
public
wearing black
in detail
for funerals,
and referred
when
to
in
this
ancient times they wore
well-converted
white.
group of elites
So
as technocrats
these
for a
things
reason. By
lamenting
controlling or influencing the geoelectrical grid,
Kali
they can
and the
affect the
priesthood and the
also
process
indirectly,
of fire
directly,
purging.
can control our thoughts and emotions artificially, because we are all connected to Gaia, Mother Earth. Registering, digesting, and ultimately transmuting is the key. We could change the channel if we choose. Turn down the volume. Fine-tune the
So
specific
our
way
ability
you
within
obey.
our own characteristics to sound, music, project the essence through our phenotype has been monumental in the relationship of establishing trends and religious rituals throughout the earth. So when we look at calcination in California, the significance of consumption, Kali, and the dragon, and the redwoods, and the Amu people, even some of the tribes, and the use of the crow. We have to understand, when we look at the salamander, the dragon, and the redwoods, and the existence to exist in the midst of fire, in the midst of hell, you understand, and the operations of alchemy and Kemet. When we look at Kemet in this region of 33 degrees, and this connection with the 150 degrees west, and this great circle, a relationship with the ring of fire and the land of Kemet and the holding of mysteries. So when we look at the 0 degrees and we get closer to Gemini in the hemisphere, the horizon line, these two play an existence in the twine meaning when we look at the ring of fire and this time of the month of Tammuz, the mark of Tammuz. When we look at the dragon in the northern skies and the sun coming into this northern portion for the summer, which is also known as Cancer. So we look at calcination and consuming in the Khan fires, serpents, dragons, the spoken word, sound, and the frequency of the atonement of the fall, and how this process of the summer and the beginning of the purging to make way for the time of the atonement. The priesthood was essential to keeping these orders sacred from being tainted. Peace. Shalom.